Thank you so much for being here. My name is Teddy Wilson. I'm the host of Interspace on the Space Channel. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad. And I really hope you're having a great expo so far. This is such an amazing convention here in Canada. It's so much fun. You guys have already had a blast, and it's about to get really, really cool. Are you ready for some Walking Dead action? So we're going to bring out our three amazing guests in just a moment. But first off, you may have been in this room watching panels already, but if not, there are microphones. They're set up. So they're set up in these two aisles. We're going to get to your questions just as quick as we can because this expo is all about you. It's all about the fans. There are the lights on the mics. So if you do want to line up, we'll try to get to you for questions for three of the stars of Walking Dead. So let's get started with a big Walking Dead, yeah! Roll the intro.
Morrissey, Lou Temple, and Scott Wilson.
Give them a big Calgary Expo welcome! David Morrissey, the Duncan, Lou Temple, and Scott Wilson, Herschel! Anyone? How cool is that?
Hello! Welcome! Yay, Calgary!
How's it going?
That's what I'm talking about.
Wow!
You feel like a rock star?
Yeah!
Yeah?
How's it going?
Because, I mean, I was a fan of the comic book, so I was excited when it came on, but I was pleasantly surprised that a show that is so graphic and that kind of goes so deep in terms of characters became the massive hit it did. What do you think is the silver bullet? Why did it become the phenomenon it did?
It's quite simple, I think. I think the real common denominator throughout is the writing. You know, as anybody knows, as an actor, what you need to do is you need to have good material to get into. And to answer your first question, I think, you know, for me coming in the third season, I came to the show as a fan. I loved it. I mean, I'd known Andrew Lincoln for a long, long time, and I saw that pilot. And, you know, zombies, I was like, okay, you know, it's not something I seek out a lot in my viewing habits, but I watched it and I thought, this is just fantastic. And it's not really, I say to people, it's not really a zombie show, it's a survival show. It's a show about humans making very, very tough decisions all the time. But it's the writing we all get. They draw our characters really well. You know, there's great writing rooms. The shows have numerous showrunners, which has obviously been well documented, but they've all looked after their show, you know. And Scott Gimple's a great guy who's looking after it right now. So I think it's the writing, and we all get our moments in the sun. You know, they write well for all of us, so it's great. You don't feel like you're the third guy on the left. You always feel like you can step up and do good stuff. And also, you know, it's a really well-run show from top to bottom. I mean, I have to say, and I think both the guys would agree with me, you know, there's obviously the talent in front of the camera, but the reason we can perform and do our job is because the talent behind the camera is phenomenal. The crew are the best crew I've ever worked with. They are wonderful, and that's top to bottom. So, you know, that's what makes it the success of it.
What were your thoughts on Herschel when you first met him on the page, Scott? What were your thoughts about him as a character and about joining the show?
Well, I'll tell you a little anecdote. I was in Georgia for my mother's 97th birthday, and yeah, she'll be 101 in May. So I was in Georgia where I grew up, and I was saying to a friend of mine that as long as I've been acting, which is a long time now, over half a century, and there's many films that they've made in Georgia, I've never worked there. About 30 minutes later, the phone rang, and it was about The Walking Dead. And so they said they're interested in 2 or 3 episodes. I said, well, what's it about? They said, zombies. And I said, okay. Tell me some good news. And they said, Frank Darabont and Gail Van Herd. And I said, I'm interested. And so I looked at the first season of 6 shows with my mother.
Your mom?
With my mom.
Cool.
Right? And after she saw him, she turned to me, she says, Scott, you really have to do this. And I read 8 episodes, and my mom asked me if she could read them. I said, Mom, you can do anything you want to, you can still kick my ass. And so she read them, and she says, you really, really have to do this.
Wow.
So, you know, I always do what my mom says. So it was, you know, that's how I came onto the show. But when I watched it, the thing that impressed me really was that the zombies were so well done. Greg Nicotero does such a great job with it. It really clears the table for the actors, because the audience or the actors, while they're working, aren't concerned about the zombies upstaging them or being out of character. But every time you were in the scene, you looked somewhere and you would see the walkers doing their thing, even when the camera wasn't on them. So I think that's a key element in the
Good point
that David mentioned.
Absolutely, yeah. I think, you know, just to support what both David and Scott talk about, obviously the show is incredibly popular now, and it was when we all came on, or Scott came season 2, he helped establish it. What is, I think, it's so popular, I think there's not any of us that don't wake up in survival mode in today's world. Very few of us that don't have to worry about surviving, whether it's a mortgage or the price of gas or a gallon of milk. And I feel like a lot of what we do, and the walkers are a metaphor for what we're having to do today to get by in the world. And there's not one of us that doesn't have a loved one that is ill, or someone we know that we're carrying and desperate to help them. And I feel like it's very easy to put yourselves in our shoes around the water cooler on Monday morning, which is now the internet on these chat rooms, and to connect with our characters. There's this incredible symbiotic relationship with you, the audience. We don't actually refer to you as you're the audience, almost like a fourth wall cast member. And you inform the show as much as the show informs you as to what needs to happen when Herschel or Axel need to go down. So, and who needs to do it. And when the governor, when his time comes as well. But the show was incredibly popular when we arrived, and certainly I had never experienced anything. I haven't worked near as long as Scott. I hope to. But the opportunity to work with these type of incredible talent, and also the show is amazing at all levels, from the producerials, the writers, the directors that come in and work, the camera crews, everybody is at the top of their game. And it is work. I mean, we forget. We got 10 days to make 8 to do 1 episode. It's a fast pace. It's a jog from set to set, because we have to deliver and then start it again. And at the end of the week, there's this collective relief of what we accomplished, and it's done by the entire.
It is a job, but I have to say that the hardest thing for any actor is not working. So it's like that thing of it's physically really tough. Like, I remember there was days when I'd be on set and it was like really hot, and the bugs were biting and the snakes were in the grass and stuff like that, and the zombies were coming at you. And Andrew Lincoln would turn to me and go, "Hey Dave, how great is this?" And I go, "Yeah, this is brilliant." And I loved it, you know, so it was, you go through it, but it is a great team, and I think part of coming to expos and stuff like that is it's a great family feeling on the show as well. We all get on, and it's great to sort of come to these shows and hook up again and, you know, see how everybody's doing. But it's a really good unit of people, and we all keep in touch with the people who are still on the show, and, you know, it's a really great network. And not all shows, I have to say, some shows I've done, you're really glad to finish. With this show, it was really tough to finish. It was tough because it was very emotional, but also you're leaving a lot of friends behind, in front and behind the camera.
Zombie apocalypse.
How would you do?
I always felt like I would saddle up with Michonne. She seems like she can handle something. But that being said, she doesn't talk much, and that might be a fake for Axel or for Lou. That'd be worse than what?
Make up for that, though, wouldn't you?
I could cover the both of us for a while.
You talk to yourself all the time, anyway.
I got that, yeah.
I think I'd do what the governor did. I mean, I'd create Woodbury, but I wouldn't go out. I wouldn't let them in. I wouldn't go for the, you know, that's what I'd do. I'd just keep it like that. I think Woodbury, until he sort of let Michonne and Laurie and, you know, it was Andrea, and it was going good. You know, it was already had everything he wanted, but power corrupts, we all know that. So whether he would have stayed sane in there, I'm not sure, but I would have just kept Woodbury the way it was, right?
I think I would disguise myself as Judith, little ass kicker. Because I think everyone's going to be taking care of her. They're going to protect her.
By the way, she was one of the cast members that I offered that should go when they came to me. I said, the baby. Why did you say the baby? Yeah,
I see that going down well.
That was big of you.
I'm like, you know, no one really knows her that well yet.
Ever the hero.
Can't really get attached to her. I mean, we don't know who her mom is or her dad. I mean,
You're a bigger target, so that was good.
Hello. Hey, buddy. Hi.
I did in the show. I leave my brains and head in the closet. It's much safer out here.
I'm glad I didn't. I mean, I think you watch those guys who come in and do those zombies on a daily basis, you know, do the walkers, and they are amazing. You know, Greg Nicotero's already said him and his team, what they do, but, you know, once you've got the makeup on, you have to bring it as well, you know, and those guys who do it, they love doing it. You know, so it's hard work for them. So I was sort of glad I got a shot in the head, but I mean, I think it's a hell of a job they do. My favorite thing is sometimes on the set, you sort of kill a zombie or kill a walker or something, and it's a great kill. And then at the weekend, you'll be in Whole Foods or whatever, and somebody tap you on the shoulder and go, hey, you chopped my head off last week. And I go, oh, hello. You don't recognize them when they haven't got the makeup on. So it's quite weird, but yeah, I was glad not to become one, yeah.
I didn't want to. They asked me if I wanted to reanimate, and I said, no, why? So Carl can come out and put me down, steal my mustache, do a crust Beth. No. Take me out, go down. And they talked about, we talked about how we wanted it to happen, and I, like David said, the writers are so incredible. I don't mess up a good thing. But I did say that I thought, looking at the Zapruder tapes and the Kennedy assassination, that I always felt that was so shocking, and that if we could build something in that direction where it came out of nowhere. And it was important to me not to indicate that we didn't see it coming. I think one of the great things is that we were really punched in the gut when Axel got it in the head, and then we...
It was a humanitarian thing that I did, really, wasn't it? Shooting you in the head rather than anything else.
Yeah, I think that I could fall.
It was a kind gesture of my part.
It was all service Carol in the end.
It was, that was it. I thought
Look at the flowers.
I love that you've talked online before in interviews too about how your mustache was a carryover from the Lone Ranger.
You know, when I got hired, I was still doing the Lone Ranger for Walt.
To say to the fans though before we wrap it up.
It's great to be here in the Corral.
Yeah, it's
Listen, how many of you have been here how many times? 5 times.
right.
Yeah.
And also, just right back at you, you know, the reasons we love coming to these shows is meeting the fans. You make the show. We love the interaction. You know, it's a great, you know, it's a place to meet you and hear what you think about the show and our characters and all that. We take that very seriously, so thank you very much.
Yeah, you are the show. You are the show, so thank you.
I'm going to look over here now because my back is been to you the whole